Hello, Meoni here, and we're back in Shadowbringers, apparently. We're back in Yulmore because there's some new framers kits added to the Shadowbringers themed expansion to both Yulmore and the Crystarium. If you want to know what a Bicolor gemstone vendor is, essentially it's up here. To have access to this gemstone trader in Yulmore and the Crystarium, you will need to have completed your shared fate system for all of the Shadowbringers areas. Obviously to unlock this, so obviously you've got those 6 areas to complete, and once it says complete, both of those vendors will unlock. Bicolor gemstones are earned from doing fates in any of the areas Shadowbringers, Endwalker or Dawntrail. They all share the same currency and you can get them from completing fates. The higher ranking you get on a fate, the more gemstones you will actually get, up to a maximum. So this is one of the new sets of things, then new items. 2 new framers kits from Yulmore. We've got the Yulmorean Comfort and Glory framers kits. And then if we go over to the Crystarium, likewise from Shadowbringers, you will find, if you teleport over here to this section, which is the Wandering Stairs basically, and just across from here is the other gemstone trader, which again is also unlocked by completing your shared fate entries to complete on all of the Shadowbringers zones, or 6 of those. And then obviously you need to get your Bicolor gemstones from doing fates like before. So obviously we've got 2 other framers kits on here, which is the Exarchic Dome framers kit for 600 and the Exarchic Tower framers kit for 600. So let's see what these 4 framers kits look like. It is also worth noting that the tooltip is very different. For example, we just looked at the PvP ones in the last video. Those were just portraits. These actually contain an entire kit for not only your background, frame and accent for portraits, but also plate elements. So your base plate, backing and top border, portrait frame and plate frame. So it's the full package for these. Okay, let's just look at the portrait frames first, and then we'll look at adventurer plates. So first of all, this is Exarchic Dome that we've got from the Crystarium for 600. This is a really cool one. We've got the inner workings of, obviously, the Crystal Tower, if you've done a certain dungeon in that. But we've got this absolutely gorgeous top area here that's in front of your character, of these beautiful lakeland petals, which honestly might be the best thing from this entire thing. And it's actually built into the frame itself, so the frame can be separated, and it is just those things. The actual accent is these like tickets and things all over the place, so if you don't like those, you can get rid of them completely. Obviously it's a really cool portrait. I really like this one, especially because of the foreground, the frame essentially. If I wanted to recreate something with some nature, I mean, I can't think of something right now. That looks pretty cool, right? But the leaves are probably the best bit from that one. So then we come on to the second one from the Crystarium, the Exarchic Tower, and this might be other people's favorite. It's a very nice selection of colors here. We have this beautiful blue crystal background. I think a lot of people will probably use that. It'd probably go really well with some of the accents and other frames from that of the sets from the ultimate weapons that you get. Those would probably combine very nicely with those. And yeah, I really like the accent as well, actually. This kind of like constellation stars projection thing that look really nice with a sort of dark background. Gold is always a good color, like light gold frames. It's really nice, isn't it? And the fact that the background is separate. I love mixing and matching these. I think these are fantastic. So that one gets a huge thumbs up from me as well. So far, 2 for 2. And then we've got the Yulmorean Comfort one, which I think a lot of people will probably like because it's got chains as an accent. And that's something that I think people have requested, actually, things like chains and, you know, kind of grim thing. Yulmore has a rich and sordid history, as you know, if you've done the Shadowbringers storyline, and this is brilliant. We've got this kind of padded Yulmorean wall behind, which looks really good. The frame itself is pretty cool, and you'll see the accent is the actual chains as well. I really, really like that. I think they've done a fantastic job with that, and if you don't want the chains, then you can obviously just find something else to go with that. Really like that one. Then we've got, from Yulmorean Comfort, we've got Yulmorean Glory. Back in its heyday, this is celebrating all of its achievements. I don't know, the flood of light seems to have affected the background though, which is actually quite a nice it reminds me of Goatsy, somebody I used to know, you know, with the the different shapes. I can only imagine if we could do that with our character and paint it, that would look perfect. So with this one, there's a lot going on. Obviously, we've got ourselves the background, which is this yellow and orange. For the frame, it is actually hold on, is that the accent? No. So the accent is just the pictures, which is interesting. Let's strip that away for a second. And then the frame itself. Oh, it's part of the background. I was like, where are those almost like piano keys coming from? It's actually the background itself that has those. And the frame is hiding it. So the frame, obviously, we've got some roses and the gold sort of gilt thing. Let's strip that away so we can actually see the other detail. And yeah, this entire detail was hidden underneath on the background. So I just thought it was two shapes and I thought this was the accent. This is actually the background. That's a really nice option of background. So far, I honestly think 4 for 4. I do think the Crystarium ones are my favorite out of the two options though. But that might change. Let's look at the actual plates themselves. Okay, without the portrait being changed, because it'll take me an annoyingly amount of time to fix it again, this is then the plate section. So what we've got here is the Crystarium version, the Exarchic Dome, which has this stained glass over here as the border. Obviously, there are all sorts of different elements here. It doesn't have a pattern overlay. Instead, it has the backing, as you can see there, of the stained glass there. We also have a top border, which is designed to be the foliage and the kind of tiled pattern that I think you see on some walls actually inside Crystarium. But the thing for me that I like the most is probably the base plate. Like, I really love the blue and the spirals. It's kind of like the tiled section that you see, like from a top-down perspective. Really nice. But honestly, I think I prefer the portrait that we looked at earlier to the actual plate itself, which is fine, but you might love the various elements of that. Then we've got Exarchic Tower, which is probably, in my opinion, 10 times cooler than the dome. Like, there's the dome one, and then there's that one. That looks so cool. I love the crystal tower being in there. I love the crystal tower being there as well. I love the crystal backing. It's really cool. That could be used a lot, mixing and matching, like we said. We've got the constellation background, which is gorgeous. I think the only thing I don't really like is the brickwork and the top border, but we could probably change that quite easily. And just keep the Exarchic Tower backing. Probably. Let's see, which part would that be? It's a little bit confusing, isn't it? That's the bit I like. There, that. So we could change, if we change that to the dome, that immediately makes it better, in my opinion. I just don't like the brickwork. So if we got both of them and mix and match to that, already that looks like a better portrait, an adventurer plate already, again, with whatever portrait we decide to go for. But very, very cool. All right, let's move on then. This is gorgeous. This is the Yomoran Comfort one, which immediately goes quite well with my Solution 9 portrait that I've got there with the purple. Yeah, I love how just royal and regal this looks with the various roses sticking out there with the accent on that frame. It's really nice. We've got that kind of purple curtain backing here. These are very well designed. I'm very happy that these were available in this patch, and I feel less bad about spending 600 Bicolor gemstones on these now. I can see that they've really gone the extra mile to include some actually quality plate frames and things like that. But yeah, honestly, it doesn't come with an accent, this one, which is surprising. Oh, I suppose none of them do. I thought those were accents. They're just part of the borders and things. I do think the system's great. I do think that the portraits break too often for it to be too useful a lot of the time. But yeah, the plates are cool because they kind of work most of the time when you inspect people. Unless there's a patch, and then sometimes it breaks for no reason. So that's the comfort. Then we've got Yomoran Glory, which has, again, it's kind of like the heyday. We've got the, dirigibles, the airships in the air. This reminds me of how Grandeur Yormore would have been before the flood of light, you know, many years ago, before the catastrophe, the apocalypse of the entire world. Again, love the background, love the top border, love the frame. It's really nice, isn't it? Really nice. But those are the 4 that were added in this patch. Let me know what your favorite is. I think out of those 4 for the actual plates, I think the Exarchic Tower is my favorite. And quite honestly, I think Exarchic Tower portrait frame as well, when we looked at that, is probably the best as well. So if you want to go off of my opinions or just of your own there, at least you've seen all 4. Because 600 bicolor gemstones, you're looking at, yeah, that times 4 to get all of these. But anyway, let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.